What happened? Hey, it's Deadshot. Well, you're not Will Smith.
Finally! You woke up!
You wouldn't be running off, would ya?
I guess not.
Up on your feet!
Ow!
Son of a...
Check my head, I guess the joke's on me. Whoa, I'm not laughing at the irony. Oh no.
Up on your feet!
I can't feel my arms and legs.
Great! I thought I told this guy to give me the good stuff. He gives me this crap? Got ripped off.
Can you help me up? Oh boy.
Takes about 3 hours to wear off.
So, while we're waiting, can I do my review?
No!
If you're worried about the Joker's thing where...
No!
You're in this one. Hello everyone, and welcome to Arkham Week. Today, for Arkham Week, we are...
No funny business, okay?
Does that mean jokes? Because, I tell a lot of jokes, and I'm kind of... Okay, no funny business, got it.
I will blow out your brain.
Yeah, I gotcha. So today we're doing something a little bit different on Arkham Week. Instead of looking at the video games or at the comic books, today we are looking at the animated straight-to-DVD movie, Assault on Arkham. This story takes place in the Arkham games universe, but this is at a different angle since we're not seeing it through Batman's point of view. It's actually mostly seen through the eyes of the Suicide Squad. We have Kevin Conroy back voicing Batman, Troy Baker is the Joker, Neil McDonough is Deadshot, CCH Pounder is back voicing Amanda Waller, and also includes great voice actors like John DiMaggio, Nolan North, Hayden Walsh, and Jennifer Hale. Even though the movie is called Batman Arkham Asylum, as I said, this movie is really about the Suicide Squad. And of course they put the Batman name on it just so it can be more popular. Now that's just the way things go for DC animated movies. I mean, you want to make a movie about the Flash? Call it Justice League Flashpoint, so it's about something other than just the Flash. The story starts out with Waller gathering a bunch of villains together to go on a Suicide Squad mission for them to take an assault on Arkham. Roll credits. Ding! The squad consists of Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, Killer Frost, Black Spider, and King Shark. Oh, and KG Beast is in there too. But not for long. The mission is to break into Arkham Asylum and find the Riddler's cane. But of course it's not as simple as all that, as the squad comes across almost every single type of obstacle they can find. Fighting guards, Batman, heck, even the Joker gets a couple of licks in the end. All the while they have bombs in their heads that are ready to detonate if Waller thinks anything is going wrong. So our main character in the story is Deadshot. Out of all the characters, we see things mostly from his point of view. The way Deadshot carries himself with this team is that he's the only A-list assassin on a team of C-list villains. There is a butting heads right away, right from the start, between him and Captain Boomerang, which is very fitting considering that they are both known for their aim and making impossible shots. He is well voiced and is characterized pretty well. Even though Waller never said he was in charge of the other members, the squad follows his lead because of the way he carries himself. And actually, surprisingly, there's kind of a little bit of a relationship between Deadshot and Harley Quinn.
With that crazy broad? And what's wrong with Harley?
The chick's messed up, that's why.
Hey, are you gonna let him talk that way about me, Puddin'?
Well, Harles, he's got a point there.
What?
Oh, but that's why I love you.
Aw, that's sweet.
Now go make me a sandwich and leave off the mayo. We don't want a repeat of what happened last time.
Anyway, like I said, it's really unclear what Harley's motivations are in the story. Is she really falling for Deadshot? Is she trying to get the Joker loose? We don't really know, and that's kind of one of the good things about the story is we don't really know, and it's almost like Harley doesn't know either. One shot, she wants to kill the Joker, the next shot, she wants to just set him free. Even in the end of the story, it doesn't say it's totally clear that her motivations were 100% always to go with the Joker. However, she is the type of character who it is impossible to get a read on. She is voiced by Hayden Walsh, who is known for voicing another popular DC character, Starfire from the Teen Titans. And while I would say that I prefer other voices that have voiced Harley, like Arlene Sorkin or Tara Strong, she does a good job with Harley's voice.
The warden uses his birthday backwards for practically all of his passwords.
How do you know that?
I used to work here. Didn't I mention that?
Come on, as what?
As a psychiatrist, silly. And pal, anyone who throws boomerangs has some real issues letting go.
CCH Pounder, the woman who voices Waller in Justice League Unlimited, is back doing Waller in this, and can I just say, it's such a joy to see Amanda Waller so fat again. I am just sick and tired of the skinny, sexy version of Waller, when making her a heavy-set woman works for her character so much more. First off, it separates her from the designs of every other woman in comic books. Second, it shows that she knows that she is no physical threat to anyone, and yet when you have people terrified of her when she walks into the room, it makes it all the more interesting. Last of all, and most importantly, it shows that she is an older, more experienced woman. This isn't a new twig that's just grown off the branch. She has been around for a long time. She knows how the world works and how to use it to her advantage. So when she walks into a room filled with killers and monsters unarmed and tells them to sit down, and they do it because they know Waller's not messing around. And you don't want to mess with Waller.
Nobody screws the wall!
Guys.
Do it again.
I don't know. Maybe his skin is too thick?
This film is odd because it can't really decide who is the villain and who is the main antagonist of the film. I mean, for the most part, it is Waller who has control over them throughout this whole story. But the final scene is Deadshot versus the Joker. But in any case, CCH Pounder is still just the best voice for this great character. And if Viola Davis wants to do a great job with this character when she gets her shot, she should definitely take notice and watch every single animated episode that CCH Pounder has voiced her, because you can't get much more perfect than this. However, just a side note, perfect casting, right? Viola Davis as Amanda Waller? Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, let's continue. Next, we come to the Joker himself. And you know what? Troy Baker just does a great job with him. It is reminiscent of Hamill's voice, but not sounding like a complete copycat. In fact, I say that the voice acting all around is great. Joe DiMaggio as King Shark is really funny. Jennifer Hale returns as Killer Frost, and she's awesome. The only one I can say I don't really care for is Matthew Gray Goober as the Riddler. I don't know if I just missed the fact that Wally Wingert is the voice of the Riddler in the Arkham series, and he's not in this movie. But either way, I don't really care for the voice of the Riddler, which is surprising because the actor is an actor that I know of, and I actually think he'd make a really good Riddler in live action, but in this animated one, I just don't like it. This movie has a very dark tone that it earns with this story that it is telling. This movie doesn't sugarcoat what these villains do. It is despicable and awful, and yet we are kind of cheering for them. This is a very hard thing to do because it's different from just making a superhero who's a jerk likable. I mean, let's take, for example, Tony Stark in the Iron Man movie. Sure, he's a jerk, but he's still a likable jerk that we can still kind of find entertaining and fun. In this movie, we open with King Shark as he is bathed in the blood of the victims that he has killed, and Yeah, that's not an easy character to relate to. And yet we still laugh at his funny moments. And you know what? It's actually kind of sad when his head is blown off. Oh, by the way, review is going to contain spoilers. But yeah, this movie is a dark film. Characters die, and sometimes it's at the most random moment. It is, however, very fitting with this type of film and for a Suicide Squad story. That's always what the best Suicide Squad stories have been able to do, where you never know which characters are going to survive which mission, because every mission could be their last. One of the great contrasts between we see how these villains act between how our heroes act is in this scene, in this movie, there's a part where the Joker has just put up a bomb on a timer. A nuclear device is going to destroy all of Gotham City. All the heroes would band together to stop this evil threat, but our villains?
I never trusted that broad.
You can see why. And unlike other straight-to-disc animated movies that DC has been doing that have dark scenes and swears for next to no reason, excuse me. For this one, this movie is about a team of supervillains called the Suicide Squad, so I think it fits pretty well. They do take it a bit too far, in my opinion, with a sex scene between Harley and Deadshot, which I could have done without, but in the end it isn't long and all the important parts are covered up. However, like I said, the film earns its dark and adult tone. Now it's time to talk about my complaints about this movie, and let's say that even though I really do like this film, it does have a lot of things that either I don't like or I am left with questions about, so let's try to get through this very quickly. The biggest problem in this story is its pacing. It's all over the place. Okay, first Waller wants them to get the Riddler's cane. Okay, simple enough. But then when they get to the Gotham, they're dropped in metal crates from the sky for no reason! And then we get to Arkham, but before we get there, we have to quickly go over to the Penguin for next to no reason just to get some weapons. Okay, let's move on from there. And then when we get to Arkham, we find out that the Joker has a dirty bomb in the city! Oh my! But then they find out that the real point of this mission is to kill the Riddler! Oh my, what a twist! But then we find out that the reason she wants to kill the Riddler is because Riddler knows how to defuse the bombs in their heads! Yeah, we get it. But then we find out that Batman replaced Black Spider and was with him for most of the mission! Shut up! And then the Joker turns up and the bomb is in Harley's hammer the whole time. Enough! And then the climax is a battle between the Joker and Deadshot while Batman is fighting Harley to try to disarm the bomb. And you know what? All this time, the whole movie, from the beginning to almost to the end, it's all been about the Riddler, about his cane, about what he knows. He can defuse the bombs. And then, boom, he's out of the story as soon as the Joker turns up. And, this story is paced really weird, and sometimes it's hard to follow what's going on. I mean, it starts out like a fun heist movie, but then it turns itself inside out, and then by the end, you don't even know what type of movie you would call it. However, I would say that the characters do make up for the lack of pacing in this film, which makes it a lot more fun. The film does a lot more fan service than I've ever seen than any of the past movies. I mean, we got a lot of scenes with references to past Batman films, like how Boomerang rolls his eyes at Frost saying ice puns. Holly walks into a toy store in the similar way Catwoman did in Batman Returns. There's another Batman Returns reference when Batman takes down Zsasz, and it's the same way he takes down a thug in Batman Returns. And then one final one that I noticed was Harley was going through the box. She shows out for a split second the mask that Joker wears at the beginning of The Dark Knight. However, the show does reference itself a little too much. I mean, there are scenes with both Penguin and Zsasz with no real point to them other than the fact that they are in the Arkham games. Then there are things that just don't make any sense. Like, how could Harley's hammer have the bomb in it when they show us in every Arkham game that every item is scanned before coming into the asylum? Why would the Arkham evidence locker hold an RPG and live missiles? Batman is pretending to be Black Spider after their first encounter, but instead of taking down the squad when they're not looking or ready, he sticks with them, leading to a lot of officers dying. I mean, look at this. Deadshot kills 2 guards and Batman is right there. And doesn't he have a bomb he should be finding? It should not take him that long to figure out that the group is here for completely different reasons other than the bomb. This is just completely out of character. He doesn't even take them down after they've been shocked or clamped to the chair. Then we have this scene. We have Deadshot and Boomerang fighting for control over the chopper. Deadshot wins, and we can see that there's nothing inside the chopper. Nothing at all. But 5 seconds later, where did they come from? We can see right here that there is no door in this helicopter. So they were not hiding in it, and we can see that they could have not jumped on as it is far too high in the air. So how on earth did they make two people disappear in this helicopter? So while this movie does, I think, have a lot of plot holes in it and just stuff that isn't exactly, right with it, it does have more entertainment value than a lot of the straight-to-DVD animated movies that DC has been doing in a while. It's fun, it's dark, it's twisted, it has swear words in it, and since it's such a dark film, it earns that, unlike a lot of the other animated movies from DC. So in the end, I would say I give it a 7 out of 10. Although I do want to point out one more problem. How does Lawton survive this? Okay, wait, scratch that. How does the Joker get out of this?
At this point, he probably is.
This is meant to take place in the Arkham universe, but we clearly see him blown up. There's no getting out of this one unless Batman saves him. They didn't even find the Joker's body. But he falls off into a helicopter and blows up. How is he even alive? He's supposed to be alive later in the games. How does he survive that? I think in my mind, I just rationalized it that it wasn't actually Joker, it was Clayface, and, that's how I rationalize that, because that makes no sense. Either way, that makes more sense, because, Deadshot shouldn't be able to take the Joker down anyway.
What do you mean by that, punk?
No disrespect, Lawton, but you see, the Joker is an A-list villain. You are a B-list villain. Now, don't get me wrong, you could kill C-list villains all day long, but there's a certain rhythm to the comic book world. It's why you never see someone like Firefly taking down Lex Luthor. I'm just saying, no disrespect, that's just the way it works.
I could take out that clown with one shot.
Oh, please, Floyd boy. You couldn't even get an elephant if it was lit up with neon.
Why don't you say that to my face, you pale-skinned idiot?
I wouldn't get too close to that face. I bet your breath smells like cigarettes, and that diaper that you have to wear when you're waiting for a shot a very, very long time.
I wouldn't have to wait long. Your green hair makes you stand out so much. You might as well put a tattoo on your forehead that says damage for everyone to see.
Lawton?
What?
Bang.
That's my line. Shut up.
Well, thanks for the distraction, Joker. That's 2 reviews down, 3 to go. Now, if you don't mind, I just gotta quickly tie this guy up and be on my way, because I have more reviews to do. Toodaloo.
Well, looks like things are getting pretty interesting out there in the Canadian wilderness. Let's see if Leafer Dude can survive possibly a rabid moose or one of my many killer assassins. Just join us next time to find out on Arkham Week.
Of the shadow.